Welcome, fans of Lineage 2. This is going to be a more of a general update of where we stand after playing in L2 Reborn 10x main server for roughly about 2.5 months. Let's start with just the pure server dynamics. Now, there were constant shift in power. I think that's normal. In this particular case, over the roughly last month and a half, we've seen quite a big shift, yet I'm not that much into the politics and historically all the beef between players, which almost always naturally occurs in PvP-based games like this one. Now, previously, Mirror Alliance dominated the server, now it's the Dragon Crest Alliance. When I see dominating in the numbers that they bring to the epics. Now, when it comes to castle sieges, I think, or castle ownership in general, I think that's still roughly on an equal scale. However, when it comes to raid bosses, specifically epic raid bosses, this is where it really shows that they have a far superior numbers. I would say that they outnumber us roughly 3-1, which means that majority of raid bosses usually goes to them. Well, but even with that, after just a couple of weeks in, our party did receive our first epic as a reward. So, as you understand, I am in the Underdogs Alliance. However, I actually enjoy being there. I think it pushes a little bit everyone to do better, to target faster, to kill enemies faster, which is always fun, even though it's not as common for us to get our objectives, but it also, I think, rallies people a little bit more. Now, over the past few weeks, every Sunday evening, we would have castle sieges, which is actually a lot of fun regardless, whether if we get our objectives or not. Sure, winning is always preferred, and usually almost always after those events, after castle sieges events, it's almost always the big fights over the epics, and especially on the weekends, that would be Biome, that would be Antares or Valakas. And here I think it was one of the craziest fights that you currently see on screen. This particular fight literally lasted 40 minutes, and just the resilience of the team that you see here in the middle of this time lapse, they were literally surrounded on all three sides, and yet they still somehow managed to survive, to withstand. So just again, even though technically they would be considered my enemies, I would still have to praise them for their pure resilience.
Nu, vardas Bishop. Tą tai reikia iškirsti iš karto. Kasperas panašus. Kas šitas tekila? Du guli.
Okay folks, let's do a very quick update on where do we stand with the gear on this green beautiful beast after roughly 2.5 months into the game. So compared to last time, we went from +4 on every single piece set into +6 on the main part, which was of course the easiest one to enchant because you just need to get 2. And then we only managed to get the dark helmet and the gloves on +5, and boots, it just keeps on burning. For the life of me, I cannot get this above +5, or sorry, +4. Jewelry, we updated all of them except this one nasty ring that just refuses to get upgraded. However, the biggest upgrade for me is here, even though I tried to actually put some additional pluses here, it just doesn't work for whatever reason. However, the augments here is the key part. So I do happen to have 2 Arcana maces, right? So one of them now has the passive of Empower, which is again really boosts my Empower. And then I have yet another one. So this one actually have an active of Empower. So combined with the 2 of those, so just to give a reference of how does that translate. So without any buffs whatsoever, this is roughly how much I used to have the magic attack, right? I can of course boost it with Arcana power. Now it's 4.1. However, combining the 2, I can boost it all the way with Empower skill, and then putting this on almost to 6,000 magic attack, which is again very cool, even then considering that I don't have a berserker on me at the moment. So I can get this even to roughly around 7,000 when I'm PvE farming, which is again a huge improvement. Now, by far the most exciting update for me is that we have formed a clan party of 9 people. These are usually, your casual folks that, however many things they have working in their personal life, they would still every evening log in on daily basis, and together we go for objectives. And look at this beautiful group of people right here on the screen. Now, when it comes to objectives, it mostly consists of raid bosses for us, and we do a lot of them. As a matter of fact, it's not only about the loot, but also about having some awesome PvP fighting over those raid bosses and their loot. Finally, it's all the farming in top spots and of course, all the PvP that comes with it.
We're back.
And that would be it. I hope you enjoyed this little update. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.